Tesla just announced a new Model Y, and since my last video there's some new news about some of the cool features and changes, so I'm going to talk about it in this video. We've seen the new Model Y unveiled, and the car looks like an interesting cross between the Cybercab, the Cybertruck, and the existing Model Y, and you can check out my full video explaining it. But here are some new things that we've learned about the car. For a quick overview, we've got the first deliveries scheduled in March on the Model Y, and we can see its range and acceleration is better than the previous model. We've got 4.3 seconds 0 to 62, which is quicker than the previous model. The front end has been reshaped. We've got that light bar, we've got two new wheel options, and we've got this really cool Tron-esque light bar at the back which kind of wraps around the sides of the lights. We've got a new diffuser, we've got a new rear hatchback design, and I think that it's gonna look very cool in person. It is a nice step up from the previous model. We've got a new updated suspension that Tesla says gives you a smoother, quieter ride. There's a new sound system, a larger screen, ventilated seats, and quite possibly a single indicator stalk, because instead of getting rid of the stalk on the Model Y for China, there's one there, and the buttons have vanished from the steering wheel, so there's no indicator buttons on the steering wheel. Really interesting. There's a new camera at the bottom of the bumper, the rear seats go up and down, and there's an 8-inch rear screen for passengers so kids can play games and enjoy themselves. And there's a special version which includes a new badge and then lots of cool details. It's kind of like a cross between the Plaid and the Fast version with kind of a sunset logo. Here are some close-ups of the front light bar, and you can see that underneath it, like I said in my previous video, are the actual lights. The lights are underneath, they're split headlights, very much like you get on modern Audis and BMWs. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of those, but it is what it is. You can see the close-up here of where we think the indicator is going to be, but we don't have confirmation yet. We haven't seen a video, but it might be there. It could also be lower down, just like on the Cybertruck right now. We just don't know yet. I kind of suspect it might be lower down, if I'm honest. I think putting it in between is a bit unlikely. We have a new drag coefficient, 0.22, which makes it even more sleek. And we can see there are also 20-inch wheels available as an option. I don't know whether there will actually be a third wheel option for this car, but we can see it's showing up on websites talking about the car, so that's an interesting thing to see. There will also be a black Model Y, but not in all markets. I'm not a big fan of all black cars. Personally, I think they're a bit boring, although I guess it would definitely give it that Tron look. And inside the front, there's also a drainage hole, so you can fill up with ice and it will come out of there, so you don't have to worry about liquid collecting there. That's again something which is the same on the Cybertruck, and Rivian has had that for a while, so that's a good thing to see. It's nice to give it a bit of extra practicality and usefulness. The animation of the car front looks like it is an automatic front, but apparently it's not. You will have to do it yourself, which is a disappointment. On the rear, you can see the rear light bar. Again, it's very similar to the Cybertruck. It's got a similar design. We'll see when it comes to Europe. I imagine that the left and right indicators will be on the top there. A video was posted online showing the light bar, and actually you can see on that video the middle light bar is kind of split, which is interesting. And we've got new speakers on the inside too, which is very interesting. 16 speakers, up from 14 in the previous Model Y. So if you like your really good sound systems, you now have studio quality sound from those 17 speakers with dual subwoofers. Amazing. And they look very nice as well. It looks like they're more quality. The way they've been finished on the inside is very interesting. Tesla says the rear seat cushions are 0.6 of an inch, 1.5 centimeters longer for improved comfort, and the rear headrests are also 1.7 centimeters wider. So you've got more comfort in the back of the car and the front of the car. And then we've got our new front view camera, which is under the front bumper. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Tesla removing the actual LiDAR and radar sensors. I don't agree with that, but Tesla are all in on the Tesla vision, and it does work very well, but I'm not convinced about it. Now, one of the things which people are disappointed about is that it doesn't have an 800 volt architecture. It doesn't even look like it has a 48 volt architecture. It looks like it's really very much the same Model Y before, just with a new design. and some new improvements, but the underlying engineering and technology in it is the same. So this isn't a totally new redo like we get with the Cybertruck. This is very much a continuation, a facelift, just like we got with the Highland version of the Model 3, which you can check my video out on, comparing the rear-wheel drive and the performance. Now, if you have a current Tesla, it will have a biodefense feature, which lets you filter out the air with its HEPA filter. And it's very clever that it has that, and especially now if you're in LA. Imagine with the forest fires, that would be really, really good. Unclear if this new car has that yet, but hopefully it will do. Now let's talk about the full self-driving system. Now I've been a bit critical about the way it works. I feel like it's a bit too sensitive and it doesn't really let you do what you want to do in its normal self-driving mode. So i.e. not its actual full self-driving, but in the standard assistant settings. However, Tesla are still making improvements, and I think that we will see more and more it get better and better. I do feel that Teslas are very safe when in their auto driving mode, when they're pulling up to traffic lights, etc. You can see there's a big gap. But anyway, Tesla are using a compiler toolchain to translate it into machine code, and they're improving it so that there's a dedicated layer which assigns each full self-driving subnetwork to the most suitable hardware components that ensures that computationally demanding tasks are handled by the most powerful processors, while simpler tasks are delegated to more efficient units. So that should show an improvement to the full self-driving system, and it should make it a lot better. But we'll see when it actually rolls out, if it actually rolls out. Don't get me wrong, Teslas are very safe and they're very good, but I feel like there are some things which they don't do as well as other cars. But I haven't tried self-driving, full self-driving in the UK, so I don't know, I can't comment. If you use it in the US, please do let me know what you think about it. Now, talking about competition for Tesla, Sony and Honda's Afeela electric car will only be manufactured in California, and it will cost $89,900. And this is a saloon. It's got a bit of a cross between BYD and Lucid there, and you can see shown off at CES this year, and there were quite a few announcements regarding EVs. Sony and Honda are both going to include complimentary 3-year subscriptions to the self-driving features inside the cars, and you can already order it now in the US, in California, with a $200 deposit. So really interesting to see what they're doing. We've got a tech company and a car company. We're looking at 300 miles of EPA estimated range, and of course, like all cars in the US, it will work on the Tesla charging network. In Europe, that isn't the case. Don't know whether that's going to change, but in the US, it's nice to see all the car companies going to the same Tesla standard for charging. Let's talk about the pricing in China of the Model Y. So it's a lot cheaper, 263,500 yuan, which is about $35,000. For the long range all-wheel drive version, it's about $45,000. We're not going to get that price in Europe and the US, I'm sure, but that is the price there. You can see the acceleration 4.3 seconds 0 to 60 on the all-wheel drive version. We've got all the different colors: Quicksilver, the black, the new Glacier blue, and then we've got our 20-inch wheels and our 19-inch wheels, Spiral Stormer storm wheels. We've got our dark and light premium interior colors, and then we've got our full self-driving. 64,000 yuan, 22,000 yuan for the autopilot and standard included free. And then this is a monthly payment, which actually, ironically enough, is about $600 to $700 a month. Interesting that, right? That is the cost per month, which is more in line with probably the full cost, but the overall cost is a lot less. But that is the pricing in China. Will it be that cheap in Europe and the rest of the world? I highly doubt it. So that's the latest updates on the Tesla Model Y for 2025. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do give me a like and subscribe for more on tech in the car, and check out my other videos where I drive the Tesla Model 3, the new version, and compare the performance and rear wheel drive. Thanks for watching.